Hey guys, how's it going? This is Al. Got a Thursday night football breakdown for you on DraftKings. We're going to take a look at some lineups for the single game showdown slate, the captain showdown slate. Pardon me. And we're going to try and take a look at different players in the captain spot, how we can build lineups. We actually have a good game this time. There's a good Thursday night game. Yay! Everybody celebrate. Instead of garbage games on Thursday night, we have Carolina against Pittsburgh, the Panthers against the Steelers, Connor, Brown, McCaffrey, Roethlisberger, Newton, Juju. We got a whole bunch of great players that we can play. I'm excited. I'm excited for the first Thursday night in like 3 weeks because we actually have a good game, entertaining game that I'm excited to watch with some great players that I love to roster in fantasy. If you would take a second, please drop a like on this video. Take a couple of seconds also. Give me 3 clicks. 1 on like, 1 on subscribe, 1 on that notifications bell. Because I'd love to see you guys back, for the rest of the videos. I put a lot of video content out on YouTube every single week. Would love to see you back. And would love to see you on Twitch too. All my other socials are down below in the description. And please leave me a comment in the section down below and let me know what you think of the content. So let's get to it. I swear to God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die before the end of this video. So, I guess that would go viral, right? Like, if I just died, this video would do very well. Unfortunately, I would see none of the benefits of it because I'd be dead. James Conner, he's good. What does he do? He scores multiple touchdowns, a lot. Can we afford him, though? I think we can afford him in flex. I think it's going to be tough to afford him in the captain spot. This isn't like any of the other games that we've seen on Thursday night where there's like 1, 2, or 3 guys that we want to roster, and then we can fill in with some scrubbies down below or kickers down below and do all these different things. I think this is tougher to fit a super expensive guy in the captain spot because look at all the prices of these guys, right? 11-8, 11-4, 10-2, 9-6, 8-4, 7K for Funchess, who I think is a very good play on this slate as well. Chat says, don't do it, Al. You have to live. I want to incorporate chat here on twitch.tv more into this. So chat, if you guys have any combinations that you want to see or players that you think that you want to talk about, drop them in the chat and we'll kind of discuss them. Maybe we'll work on some lineup combinations as well. So we start with James Conner. Antonio Brown, also extremely expensive for captain spot. As much as everybody wants to say he's having a ridiculously bad year, he's not. 21 fantasy points a game is outstanding at the position. Christian McCaffrey, when he gets involved on the ground, his pass game work against everybody, Atlanta's the outlier, right? His pass game work on a week in, week out basis. I swear to God, my throat is not working with me today. There it goes. He's had 6 targets in each of the last 3 games, 8 targets, 6 targets. It's pretty steady, right? Except for the Atlanta game, which we knew he was going to go off against Atlanta because they don't stop passes from going to running backs. But these games where he gets work on the ground, and at Philly and at Washington, 2 very good run defenses, good front sevens. Looking back, we could predictably say he was not going to get that work on the ground. Pittsburgh, a team that you can kind of run against a little bit. I expect this more, maybe 12 to 15 carries out of him, as is typical. His 6 to 8 targets through the air, especially if this game shoots out, his expectation goes up. I'm not expecting 2 rushing touchdowns out of him. That's just that's going to be an anomaly. He can score 1, multiple touchdowns on the ground from Christian McCaffrey. Not something that I look for very much. Ben Roethlisberger could be a captain's week for a quarterback, but I'm not sure that Ben is the one that I want to roster in the captain spot. Cam Newton coming off of a chalk week where he's somewhat disappointed. And I don't think he did poorly, right? 21 fantasy points is fine, but people were expecting 30 plus against Tampa Bay. He had a rushing touchdown called back. He had none of the early touchdowns because one went to Samuel on a run, one went to the fullback on a run. McCaffrey ran 2 in. So Cam Newton had just about the worst day that Cam Newton can have against Tampa Bay when his team scores 42 points and still ended up with 21. He is one of the highest projected players, raw projected players on the slate. And you guys know how I feel on Thursday night and Monday night, all these single game showdown sites about getting the most highest projected guy with the highest upside into your captain spot to capture all the points. And considering that he is the 5th highest player in terms of salary, to me, I think he's the most notable captain that we can play. Now, like I said, if you're going to jam people in there, so Connor, Brown, McCaffrey, can't do it. Got to make some decisions this week. You can't have all the guys. Okay, we literally cannot play all the dudes on this slate. So my chat is saying Washington, DJ Moore, Vance, we're going to have to make those decisions. So of these top players, of Newton, Connor, Brown, McCaffrey, Roethlisberger, and let's include Juju and Funchess. Well, Funchess is too low priced for that. Include Juju in that, right? If we have Juju in captain, that's still 12-6, right? Funchess is 10-5. I think you can have 3 of these guys, max. So if we go here, although you kind of want to attack them with wide receivers. I don't think you can have one more. You can. Okay, so you can have 3 5-figure players. McDonald week 2.0. Can't afford him in this lineup. You'd have to sacrifice a little bit. Are you saying put him in captain? I think he's fine. I don't know that I want to totally just plow him in there. Jessie James, not a terrible shout. Not going to be as involved, but has as much touchdown upside as anybody on the Steelers if they get close. Obviously, Connor's going to be the number 1. Brown's going to be the number 2. Juju gets involved too. But Jessie James, with his size, can be a 2-touchdown player in a 1% scenario, right? And at 2.4K, I don't think he's a terrible play. How about Jarius Wright? Like, if you're looking for a bargain basement player, I think he's being supplanted by Samuel, who's way up here at 4.4, and I think that's an egregious price. Olsen Captain? All right, let's build an Olsen Captain lineup. 9.6, so we can afford 3 guys, right? So we can afford Connor, Brown, Cam. 3.4K average remaining. No Ganos is good Ganos. Jessie James, Pittsburgh defense. That leaves us a K. Cam and DJ Moore after last week when people were burned, going for flop lag. So a flop lag lineup. DJ Moore 5.8. Juju, let's get Juju in there. Let's get Antonio Brown in there. Who did you want at captain? You want Cam at captain? Leaves us with 4.8K. Go Funchess and a punt type player. Boom. I don't think that's terrible, to be honest with you. You have all players that are on the field and making... Jessie James is the least involved player of this group. Right? But at least he has touchdown upside. 2-3 targets, but at least there's touchdown upside baked in. I don't hate that lineup, especially for tournaments. There's massive upside there. How about a cheap captain? What would be a cheap captain lineup? Give me something. McDonald, maybe? This is the one that you guys were talking about before. So if we throw McDonald in there, so we got an average of 8.4. Connor, Cam, Juju, Funchess. 5.3 is a little bit too high. I probably want to have another stud player in here. Can we get Antonio? There's nothing down here. We'd have to get, like, Jarius Wright is, I think, is as low as we can theoretically go. So I don't know that we can fit Antonio in this build. But you can fit McCaffrey in that build. You like more captain better than... Okay, so we'll build a cheap more captain lineup. Like I said, there's a bunch of different ways that you can go. I don't know. I think I like McDonald at captain better than Moore. What do you think, chat? You guys agree or disagree? McDonald at 7,500 versus Moore. I mean, it's going to look very similar. Grimble for the YOLO? Nah, I'm going to pass on that. You like more captain than Connor. Okay, so then you said then Connor, McCaffrey, Juju, Olsen, James. Connor, McCaffrey, Juju, Olsen. Get that red bar out of there. And then Jessie James or Steelers D. Go either way with that. And just hope for a return. You could fit either one in there. I kind of think people are going to go cheap in tournaments. I mean, I like the way that they've done the pricing this week. I think they did a good job. Like, you can't just stuff all the top players in there. Remember week 1, that video we did for week 1, how to play Showdown and how to get after Showdown is like play 2 kickers and you can fit everybody. You can't do that anymore, right? Used to be able to do that. And this is the progression that we've talked about, right? You used to be, the beginning of the season, it was play 2 kickers, play the guy that you have for the highest projected player in the captain spot, highest projected, highest ceiling, and then just play everybody else, right? Well, guess what? You can't do that. You can almost do it, but you can't exactly do that anymore. So I like that the progression that DraftKings has taken with their salaries, that they've kind of forced you to make some decisions. Because at the end of the day, that's what it kind of comes down to. Everything that you do in daily fantasy for you to be successful is all about you making good decisions and doing it over and over again in every game, in every slate, in your cash game lineups, in your tournaments, and in your allocations. As always, I play these showdown slates for fun. I play them very casually versus how I play the Sunday slates. Partially, way more variance in the showdown slates. They are a lot of fun. I love to play them for having something to root for and cheer for and have a little bit of money on the line that possibly I can take down something at the end of the day. But also, because of the fact there's only 6 spots, you're going to see overlap unless something completely crazy happens in the game all the way at the top of the score sheet. Meaning that even if you win, you're probably going to split it with 50 to 500 different people, so that 200K or 250K off the top of the tournament ends up being like 3 to 5K, unless some crazy stuff happens and you're on somebody like Aldrick Robinson or Baker Mayfield on the night that he, comes in off the bench and does something massive, and it's a very low-owned player that you had to have. All the top players are going to be highly owned, so you're going to split it a lot of different ways. So I play these slates for fun. I suggest that you also play these slates for fun. Doesn't mean you have to completely avoid them just because there's more variance. It just means that you have to put it in perspective so that when you win, you're not going to win as much as you would on a normal slate. So, hope this video helped you. If it did, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll see you back next time. Bye, guys.